In a world that never seems to rest. Where notifications ping every few seconds. Where voices compete for attention both online and off. Where even moments of stillness are filled with background music or the hum of machines. Silence has become something rare. Something almost uncomfortable. Yet, silence may be one of the most powerful forces left in our lives, not because of what it lacks, but because of what it reveals. You wake up. And before your eyes fully open, your hand reaches for your phone. Messages, headlines, weather, reminders, all pouring in before your first breath of the day. You play a podcast while brushing your teeth, scroll through social media while eating, and let the news fill the background as you get dressed. The day has barely begun, and already, the noise has taken over. You don't even notice it anymore. The constant hum has become normal, expected, even comforting. But what happens when it stops? One day, you find yourself standing in a quiet room. No music, no voices, just the sound of your own breathing. At first, it feels strange, like something is missing. Then you start to hear the things that were always there, the ticking of a distant clock, the soft rustle of the trees outside, the quiet rhythm of your heartbeat. And something unexpected happens. You feel present, like you've returned to yourself. Silence is not emptiness. It's not awkwardness. It's not a void to be filled. Silence is space. It's clarity. It's a mirror, one that doesn't distort who you are with opinions, algorithms, or expectations. In silence, you meet your thoughts honestly, without distraction. You start to notice what you truly feel, what truly matters, and what was just noise all along. There's a reason great thinkers and artists have often sought out solitude and silence. Virginia Woolf once said that a room of one's own is essential for creation. The composer John Cage famously wrote for '33, a piece made entirely of silence, to show that no space is ever truly silent, that every moment, even in stillness, is filled with presence. And in 1989, thousands of citizens in Czechoslovakia protested in silence, holding candles in the dark, letting their quiet unity speak louder than any chant or slogan ever could. But you don't need to be an artist or an activist to find the power in silence. You just need to pause. Maybe it's during a morning walk without your headphones, or sitting at the table with a cup of tea and nothing else. Maybe it's driving without the radio, or spending 5 minutes before bed in complete stillness. These moments are not wasted. They are essential. They are where you hear yourself again. In silence, you may discover uncomfortable truths. You might notice feelings you've ignored, or thoughts you've pushed aside. But you also uncover peace. Not the peace that comes from everything going perfectly, but the peace that comes from accepting things as they are. The peace that whispers, you don't need to fix everything right now. You just need to be here. It's easy to mistake silence for weakness. In debates, in conversations, we're taught that speaking up shows strength. But there's a deeper kind of strength in knowing when not to speak, in choosing to listen, in choosing not to react. Silence gives space for understanding, for empathy, for healing. In relationships, a quiet moment can speak volumes. In conflict, a pause can stop the spiral. In sorrow, silence can be the only honest response. You begin to notice how much noise is used to avoid discomfort, how people talk to fill gaps, how music plays in every shop, how background chatter fills every silence. But when you resist the urge to fill the space, you learn to trust it. You learn to rest in it. You learn that not everything needs commentary. Not every moment needs a soundtrack. There's a Japanese concept called ma, which refers to the space between sounds, between words, between actions. In art, it's the pause that gives rhythm. In life, it's the silence that gives meaning. Without space, everything blends together. Silence is what allows you to feel the weight of things, to appreciate their texture. In a world that shouts, whispers become powerful. When everyone is trying to be heard, The one who listens becomes the most grounded. So you start carving out more quiet. Not as an escape, but as a return. You turn down the volume, not just of devices, but of expectations, of comparisons, of worry. And in that stillness, you begin to breathe easier. You begin to remember yourself. This doesn't mean rejecting the world or its sounds. It means learning how to move within it without losing your center. It means knowing when to engage and when to retreat. It means holding space, for yourself, for others, for silence. And slowly, something shifts. You find that your thoughts are clearer, your reactions slower and softer, your presence deeper. You're not always rushing to fill the space, to speak, to explain. You begin to trust the silence, to let it hold what words cannot, because in the end, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of depth. It is where your thoughts breathe, where your emotions stretch out, where your soul can finally speak without interruption. So ask yourself now, when was the last time you truly sat in silence, without reaching for something to fill it? What would happen if you allowed that silence to stretch a little longer? What might you hear? What might you remember? What might you become? Now, take a deep breath. Soften your shoulders. And let everything go quiet, just for a moment. The world will still be there when you return. But for now, let the silence remind you of something you already knew, that within you, beneath the noise, is a stillness that cannot be shaken. And in that stillness, you are whole.